Hey everybody, we're going to raw pack some roast beef today. So what I typically do, and you take your jars, run them through the dishwasher, and then pull them out when I'm ready to go, just to keep them sterile. But how I end up doing this is I take about a half of an onion, just a normal sized onion, and cut it up into pieces, and I'll put that in the bottom of the jar, and then I'll put carrots, about a cup of carrots on top of those onions. And I only do that just for the flavor. I think it tastes really well. But then you'll take your meat, and I have a couple pieces left out that cut up about size like that, and you'll put them in your jars and fill everything to where there's an inch between the top of the jar and the meat. So I go to there, and then what I will typically do is put in about a tablespoon. These are quart jars, so I just eyeball it because why not? Put in some salt, and then I do get Montreal steak seasoning put in there. Helps add a lot of good flavor. And I guess the more season you put, the more flavor you're gonna get. I don't know, it's probably about a tablespoon as well. And then what you wanna do is take a cloth, and I use vinegar. Just get the edge of the cloth wet and then run it around the rim and clean off all of that. Make sure there's no cracks or chips in it. And then you'll put your lids on. And then you put your lids on, and then the rings, and you turn the rings on to finger tight. Don't crank it tight, just get it on there and it's finger tight. And then the other thing that I do is we have the old National pressure cooker. And this one, for our area, we need to have it at 15 pounds of pressure for meat, 15 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes. But when you get going, here's our vent. Before you even get started, you'll need to I put about 2 inches of water in the bottom of ours. And then you need to make sure that vent pipe, you can see daylight through it, or you put it up to your mouth and blow through it and make sure it's clear. But when you get your jars in and get this going, that needs to steam for 10 minutes. And then once your 10 minutes are done, close that down, and then wait until your pressure gets up to 15. Then you start your timer for 90 minutes. And you got to keep it at 15 for that 90 minutes. And then when that's done, once your timer goes off, shut the heat off and let it back down the pressure on its own, and wait until that gets to 0 before you undo anything, because this is under pressure, so the lid will blow off if you try to take it off. Yeah, I'll do a little bit after I get done and show you what it looks like. So, and another thing to remember on these older pressure cookers, there's not a rubber gasket between the lid and the cooker. So you'll want to take a little bit of vegetable oil and run it around the lid, so it'll slide in there better and it won't stick when you go to take it off. And then when you go to close these down on this one, it has the metal wing nuts. When you put it on, it's like a tire. You start here and then off, and do basically kind of a star pattern to tighten it, and then go around it one more time again just to give it a little extra. And then I'm gonna get this started. Oh, and I have my vent pipe. I looked through it earlier, make sure I could see from the inside out. And when I get this going, we want to let that steam for 10 minutes and then close that down so you can build pressure up in the cooker. And then we want for our area, we want to get to 15 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes for roast beef. So we got to let it get to 90 minutes or 15 pounds and be at 15 pounds for 90 minutes. If it drops below that, you got to start your time over again. So keep an eye on it. And these older ones, and it all depends on what pressure cooker you have, because I know there's a lot of the newer ones, it's a weighted gauge. But if you have that, you'll have to look it up online and see what instructions they have for those. This is the only kind I've ever used. So just make sure you're careful and you try to look into the instructions for your specific model of pressure cooker. All right, and when I get done, I will make another short little video of showing you what it looks like when we're done. Also remember, on these, there's arrows on the lid and the cooker. You want to line those arrows up. All right, so we're running just over 15 pounds of pressure. So just turn your heat. I'm going to turn my heat down. I'm doing this on an outside Camp Chef propane stove. So to get it going, I had it medium high right in there. Now I'm gonna turn it down to medium low and just keep tweaking it just to keep it at 15 pounds for the 90 minutes. Okay, we are done. Their 90 minutes are up. So we're gonna already put a towel down on the table. You always want to put a towel or a cloth down before you set your jars on them. And then we'll just start pulling them out. All right, we've got them pulled out. We're gonna let them sit there and wait for the lids to seal. You'll hear that ping. And thanks for watching this. And if you have any questions or comments, we'd love to see them and hear back from you. Thank you.